Hello guys, my name is Dylan. My YouTube channel is DRG Bros, and today we are doing calculus, trigonometric integrals number 1. So topic 1 is our review as always. So here I have a unit circle, and I've drawn a couple lines. So this is always going to be 1, and this is 1. And then these are always going to be a fraction of this, of 1. And so this is the sine of theta, and this is the cosine of theta, and this is theta. And so the cosine squared of theta plus the sine squared of theta is theta plus 1. Now, now what we could do with this formula, this trigonometric function, is we could do, the cosine squared of theta equals 1 minus the sine squared of theta. Okay? So that was just a quick review for topic 1. Now we're on to topic 2, which is a little more confusing. So we're going to have 2 examples. So this is example 1. Okay? So example 1 is we're going to have an indefinite integral. That basically means there's no numbers. And this is the cosine cubed of theta, and then d theta. Okay? And then what we're going to do is we're going to split it up. So we're going to do cosine squared of theta, and then cosine of theta, d theta. And so back at the beginning, on our review, we figured out that anytime we have the cosine squared of theta, we can replace it with 1 minus the sine squared of theta. So we're going to replace it with 1 minus the sine squared of theta. And then cosine of theta d theta. So now what we're going to do is we're going to do some u substitution. So let's let u equal sine of theta. So du over d theta equals the sine of theta. Now we multiply it by d theta. Cross it out. So now we have du equals the integral of sine of theta, which is cosine of theta. Oh, and this is cosine. Sorry. This is the cosine. And so these are over cosine of theta. And these cancel out, so we're left with du over cosine of theta equals d theta. And this allows us to continue on with our equation. So this equals 1 minus u squared. cosine theta, and then du over cosine of theta. And so these cosines cancel out. These cancel out. So now what we're left with is 1 minus u squared du. And then this equals one du minus the integral of u squared du. And then this equals u minus u to the third over 3. And then this will finally equal the sine of theta minus the sine cubed theta over 3. Thank you guys. Well, this is example 1, so now we're gonna do example 2, which is going to be the final example. Okay, so example 2 is a little bit trickier, not that much, no. But so it's the indefinite integral and a cosine of phi theta d theta. And this is example 2. And so this equals the cosine, the 4 theta cosine theta d theta. And this equals 1 minus the sine squared theta squared. Because basically what we're doing is we're splitting this in half, and then cosine squared theta equals 1 minus sine squared theta, and cosine theta d theta. So let's let u equal the sine of theta. So du over dx equals the cosine of theta d theta, and not dx theta, and then d theta on both sides, and then these cancel out. So we're left with du over cosine of theta equals the cosine of theta d theta over cosine of theta. And then these cancel out, and we're left with du over cosine of theta equals d theta. And so this equals 1 minus u squared cosine theta du over theta, or cosine of theta. And these cancel out, and this equals 1 minus u squared for du. And then this equals 1 minus u squared, 1 minus u du. And then finally we have, not finally, we have 1 minus u squared plus u to the 4th du. And then what we do next is the integral of 1 du minus the integral of u squared du minus the integral of u squared du plus the integral of u to the 4th du. And so this equals u minus u to the 3rd minus u to the 3rd over 3 plus u to the 5th over 5. And then this finally equals the sine of theta minus the sine cubed theta over 3 minus the sine, this is minus the sine cubed theta over 3 plus sine of 5th theta over 5. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next.